So you just heard 10 shred pentatonic guitar licks. Now I'll give an explanation of each one and show you the tabs. Here's the first one again. So for this first one, it's just an A minor pentatonic like all of these are. It starts here on the high E string on the A note, 5th fret, then a pull off, and then the E note on the B string as a downstroke, and then another downstroke for that G on the high E. So it's A, pull off to G, E, G, and that's 2 downstrokes in a row, so a small sweeping pattern. And that lets you get the lick up to speed pretty easily. You know, it's a simple kind of up and down with your right hand, just up, pull off, down, and that's one motion, those 2 downs, so. So that's in the first position, you do it twice. You move up to the next position, up again, up one more. Here you only do it once, and the next one only once too. And then you end on that high A note here. So all together, slow. And don't be afraid to use some vibrato at the end, so a little bit faster. A little bit sloppy. There you go. Okay, so this next one you just heard is similar. It's all alternate picking though. It's something that you'll hear guys like Zach Wilde do a lot, just in this position again. It's A, G on the high E, and then E, D on the B string. Right, so that's those notes, and you do it twice on the high E, so, and then once on the B. So it's like a pattern of 6 notes. Then you go up again, same kind of pattern, twice on the high E, and then once on the B. And then the next time, so every 3rd time, you'll only be doing it once on the high E too, so twice and then once, twice and then once, and then once both times, so it's like a pattern of 6, 6, and 4, right? Then you do the same kind of thing over again, but you're just continue going up in the positions. Then end it on that high A there. So the whole thing at a slow tempo. A little bit faster. So there you go, on to the next one. So So this one here now has some 3-note per string pentatonic patterns. It's with legato for the most part. So you start here, kind of combination of these two positions between the 5th and the 10th fret. Start on the 8th, and you pick once, and then hammer on to the 10th, pull off to the 8th, and then down to the 5. So it's a 4-note pattern. Then you do the same thing on the B, and then, just adjust the frets for the pentatonic here on the G. So 7, 9, 7, 5, and then you hit that A there. So, and that's the basic repeating pattern. You just go up in the position, so adjust your frets for the next position. Up again. And one last time, and here you'll do something slightly different at the end. You just continue the pattern there, then end on that A. Now again, a little bit faster. It's a bit of a stretch, so you might want to put your guitar here on your left hand, playing classical position. Alright, so okay, on to the next one. Okay, so this next one is a combination of like an A minor 7 arpeggio. That'll be ascending, and then descending you'll be just doing straight pentatonic. And the A minor 7 arpeggio is basically within the pentatonic already. It's just, it's basically just missing one note, that D, but you have the root, minor 3rd, 5th, flat 7. It's all pentatonic notes, 4 out of 5 of them. So ascending, it's like this. So root, flat 3, 5, flat 7, then root, flat 3, 5, and then the root. You skip the flat 7 there. And then you descend the pentatonic. So, and you slide up here, kind of do the same thing. Root, flat 3, 5, flat 7, root, flat 3, 5, flat 7, there you do hit the flat 7, and then you go descending pentatonic from the root to the flat 7 here, and then you hit that minor 3rd, and then the root. So the whole thing together. So I'm doing mostly legato descending. I probably don't do it the same every time, but it's kind of a sweeping pattern up the arpeggio here. Kind of pick the first note and hammer on, or pull off the second. And slide up here. You can use whatever techniques you prefer for these, but this is just what I do, so now the whole thing a little bit faster. So now we've got this sliding lick. It starts here on the 15th fret from D, sliding up to E, and then that C on the high E, and slides then down to the C. So after that, so it's a lot of 5th intervals. So kind of one position, slide down 2, move up 1, slide down 2, move up 1. You get the pattern, this kind of thing. So the picking pattern exactly is that's the first half, it ends, and you can change this lick up, make your own thing from it, just kind of continue this pattern however you want, but for me. And then it does kind of the same pattern, but move down a string set. So from the G here, the 12th fret, same kind of thing, move up 1, down 2, up 1, down 2. And then you have just an A minor arpeggio at the end. So the whole thing's slow. So it's not too difficult, not too fast. You just have to watch out that you don't accidentally slide too far or too short. So that's pretty much it for that one. Pretty simple. On to the next one. So this next one is pretty simple in concept, but it's a great picking exercise. It's just the pentatonic shapes, but you do string skipping. So here on the 5th fret, the A note, you skip a string. So you get it. When you ascend here, you skip 1, and then you go down the string. Same thing. You go up a position to descend, same kind of pattern. And then same thing going up on the next position. So what you have to watch out for mostly is just the position changes. Here I slide up. Here I kind of do a 3-note per string for 1 moment to get up to the next position. So here I kind of do the same. I hit this with the first 2, so I can reach with my pinky there, and then bring it down back in position. So the whole thing's slow. Next one. So far we've been working with groupings of 16th notes. Now we'll be working with either 6 notes or 3 notes per beat, so triplets or sextuplets. The first pattern is kind of a 3 or a 2+3 pattern, but it repeats a bit. So on one string it's 2 notes, and then on the next string it's 4, but it's like a 3-note pentatonic pattern. So it starts on 5, 8, and then to the next string on the A string, 7, 5, 7, 10. So that's a bit of a stretch, but it's the pattern for most of it, and then you just move up an octave. Move up an octave again. So then you slide up to that high A, and then I just do all legato descending. And at the end there, I just tap on like a hammer on from nowhere, and then I pick for the downbeat. So the whole pattern slowly. So what helps me to practice it is to break it up into groups and practice it with a few repeats. So if I do it then twice on each turn. Just once. So you cover a lot of ground here. It's not too difficult once you get past the stretch. So next one. So now we're in a triplet pattern. Would work great over like a blues if you want to throw in a quick lick. Starts on the upbeat, kind of, you know, like a shuffle would. On the A here, so it's the third note of a triplet that you start on, and then you go to the downbeat here, and the minor third, and hammer on here. Then you skip a string to the high A and do pull off here. So that's kind of the pattern. Remember, it starts on the downbeat, so the second note is always starts on an upbeat, so the second note is always on the downbeat of every measure. So that's the pattern. And how I pick this is kind of, two downs, like a sweep, and then skip, and two ups. So that sounds pretty good just in that one position. Then what I do is I move it up. So pretty simple, not something that you'd really play too fast, but works great over blues if you want to throw in something a little bit flashier. So now we've got a 3-string repeating pattern, so 2 notes per string just in one position. Finally, we don't have to worry about changing positions, something you'd hear in quite a lot of Zakk Wylde solos. That's the basic pattern. Then you do the same thing down a string. Then I just end it with that octave. So slow. I'm playing that at 6 notes per beat, but you can also change up the accents and do it 4 notes per beat, so. That would be like a 4-note pattern, but the same, note pattern, just breaking it up differently into 4 instead of 6, but it's a bit simpler to think of it in 6, so get that down first, I would say. Sounds great with some wah. I have a wah, but it's behind me, so be awkward to turn my back to you. Sounds great with some aggressive wide with vibrato, things like that. On to the next one now. So here's the last one. It's a tapping pattern. I think the only tapping pattern in the series. So starts off descending, 6-note pattern. Right, so 12, 8, 5, 10, 8, 5. And then it moves down a string, and 13, 8, 5, 10, 8, 5. So just adjusting for the pentatonic patterns. And just do kind of the same thing through all the patterns, descending. So for the high 4 strings is what you do it on. go up a position. It's still like a descending pattern per string, but it's you know, the string changes are ascending. So now it's and also with your tapping finger, your tapping is actually going up instead of, you know, down. It's going you know, left to right rather than right to left, but it's still all pull-offs, it's not hammer-ons. So now up a position. And end it with that high A as a tapping note. So it's pretty easy to get fast. Main difficulty is just remembering both patterns, because you're kind of thinking one pattern with your right hand and another one with your left hand, so make sure you have these pentatonic boxes down really good. That's pretty much it. Hope you learned something from these, got a new perspective of the pentatonic scale, and you can throw these in when you want to do a bit of a flashy pentatonic lick in your solos. Not too much mental thinking, but you know, some good techniques, and it's great for learning all your positions if you're a bit foggy on some of them. You know, you don't want to always play in the first one. But this one is great. Of course, every guitar player's favorite, but you know, it's cool to move up through them sometimes with things like this. You know, so you can move from one octave to the next box and play the same kind of things, but you know, you don't have to jump. You can play some connecting things between the two, at least. There's a mosquito playing along with me, so I think it's about time to go. Hope you enjoyed these. Good luck.